Is your child thriving in the United States of America? If so, how does that make you feel? If not, how does that make you feel? Would you benefit from having more free time? And if there's one thing that I know that Black single mothers need more of, it's time. So through my transparency and honesty of my own personal journey, I reveal to Black moms that another way is possible. Another way is possible. My name is Toni. Welcome to my channel. So let's get in it. So I was watching Ashley from Ashley in Africa. She had a video titled, "Does My Daughter Want to Stay in Africa? How Teens Adjust to Life Abroad." And it was a beautiful video from the perspective of a 12-year-old girl who is now living in Africa. Since I have not moved yet and I'm currently in the United States, I thought it would be helpful to address the exact opposite. Is your child thriving in the United States? And my 8 reasons for moving my children abroad. So let's get into it. So I made a list, and the first thing on my list may be a no-brainer to some. Safety. Black and brown children aren't safe here. Black and brown children aren't safe in the United States of America. Me personally, I have 2 sons. My 13-year-old son is 5'11", and my 16-year-old son is 6'1". But since they were little, 5 years old up until current, they've always been looked at like everyone thinks they are older than what they really are. And so because they've always looked older, they've always had harsher repercussions or consequences. It scares me as a Black mother that my sons can't make a mistake, and that one mistake could cost them their lives. It's safer for us in another country. I don't know if people know that, but it's safer. Now, I understand we hear news reports and people tell you the most horrific stories about moving to another country. I just don't understand where the disconnect is, because we hear stories every single day about the things that happens in the United States. So if your reasons for not wanting to move is safety, change your reason. Take it off. Take it off your list. Take it off your list, because you are significantly safer as a Black and brown person living in another country. Now, I'm not saying that there's no racism, there's no mistreatment, but it won't lead to death. It won't lead to death. Therefore, somebody cannot necessarily like you, but they're not going to take your life either. So safety is the main concern. Number 2, better access to education. How many times have we complained about the educational system? What really blew up the educational system in the moment is COVID. When all our children had to stay home, and we had to start teaching them and really being there to help them, to guide them through a virtual world that they really may or may not have had any experience with. It was difficult. And you saw the holes, you saw the gaps. Teachers were home teaching, but they weren't teaching. And then they felt like they didn't want to come back, that they want to teach. COVID really opened up a can of worms for a lot of different areas of our life. And the educational system was definitely one of them. Now, I knew that the educational system was horrible in the United States. I knew that we lacked the resources and that education is a privilege for the rich because not everyone has access to it. And that does not have to be your story. It doesn't have to be your story, which leads me to number 3. Better access to healthcare systems. If you do not have the money, you will not be treated. We can go back and forth, but it all boils down to having the money to be able to get the health care that you need. There are Black and brown children dying at increased rates. The infant mortality is higher in the African American community. The maternal mortality is higher in the African American population. High blood pressure, diabetes. There is no prevention for healthcare. There is only, let me treat it. There's only treatment. So once you get sick, then they treat you, but they do not try to prevent you from getting sick, because the reality is healthcare is a business. It's a booming business, and they only care about the bottom line. So when something is a privilege for the rich, then that means everybody can't access it. And so because I don't make $200,000 means I can't get good health care? Another way is possible. Another way is possible. Number 4, family oriented. I've been to different countries, and I will tell you that the United States of America has very little tolerance for young children. They have very little tolerance for disabled children. They have very little tolerance for the elderly. They have very little tolerance for anybody that's going to slow them down and inconvenience them. In other countries, because their culture is so rich and so rooted within the family, they're very family oriented. I am moving to Mexico, and I've been there many, many, many times, and they put their children first. There's no doubt about it in my mind. They put their children first. You don't have to sit in a world where you have to shush your kid, or you have to say, go sit down, or don't touch that, or don't do that. No. You can let your child be a child. Go figure. Let your child be a child. Another way is possible. Number 5, I think this is number 5, slower paced. Oh my goodness. Why is everything so fast? Why is everything and everyone in such a hurry? I cannot keep up. Everything is rush, and it causes anxiety, and it causes depression and a whole lot of other symptoms. But what will help that? What will fix that? More time. So if you want me to do a video on how moving abroad can gain you more time, please comment below. Let me know if that is something that you are interested in. Let me know. We can talk about it. Alrighty. So my 6th one is bilingual / the culture. The United States, to me, has very little culture. They stand on no culture. That's why when you go to other countries, you instantly feel when you're in that country. You can feel the culture. You can feel it. Some cultures hug you, some cultures don't. Find a place, find a place, find a country that hugs you when you enter. United States not it. The United States is not it. The United States is not it. It's not it. I also have a strong desire for my child to be bilingual. Imagine your child being bilingual. Imagine the opportunities that will afford your child. Imagine the opportunities that it will afford your child if they spoke 2 languages. How many of us can say that we have someone or our children are bilingual or that we're bilingual? That was very, very important to me, to go to another to another country, to adapt the culture, to respect the culture, to learn the language. That's important. So that was number 7. No, number 6. Number 7 is the food. The food. What in the absolute world is going on? How is the FDA approving things that they know kills you? That they know kills you. Granted, it's a slow death, but it kills you. It absolutely kills you. The nutrition, the food that they are giving to our children and to us to eat really is downright murder. It is. It is. And people may say, oh, that's extreme, or I don't agree with you, and that's fine. But when you live off of nutrition, right? When your body thrives off of nutrition, and then the nutrition that you are given adversely affects you and they know it, what do you call that? What do you call that? I call it murder. I call it murder or aggravated assault, whatever you want to call it. It's harmful. The food we eat here is harmful. I want to teach my children how to eat healthy, how to grow foods, what different foods look like, what foods taste like without all the harmful chemicals. That's very, very important to me. And I know that it's important to other moms. The last thing, and I think this is the last reason why you should consider moving abroad, because this is not constant and it changes. But the last thing is that it's a cheaper cost of living. It is cheaper to live in certain other countries than it is in the United States. And they treat you better. The food is better. The weather is better. The experience is better. Diversity is better. It's better. So while I do not believe that the cost of living should be your only reason for moving or your number one reason for moving, it is absolutely valid. Because as a single mom, we don't have a lot of money. There's not a lot of money. And so, yes, the things that I cannot afford here, I can afford there, which means better food, better education, putting my children in activities, freeing up my time so I can be present for my children, and I'm not slave to some corporation that wants me to climb this professional ladder. Where is this ladder going? Death. You're going right up the ladder to death. And I hope I'm not coming off as harsh, but I am passionate about it. I am passionate about getting other single Black mothers to understand that there is another way. You do not have to continue and sit in the rat race. So please, guys, like, comment, share this video with another Black woman, another single Black mother who you think would really, really benefit from this information. You know, I want to share my journey with everyone, anyone that it will help. So if you have any comments that you'd like to share, anything you'd like to say, any suggestions of any videos that you may want me to go over, please let me know. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more of my journey of moving my children to Mexico.